All right. Now we're going to zoom in on the major endocrine glands themselves. These are specialized organs spread throughout the body, and each one releases hormones that affect very specific functions. Here you can see where the major endocrine glands are actually located. Notice they're not all clustered in one place. They're spread out, which makes sense since hormones need to influence the whole body. This table looks intimidating at first, but don't panic. The key idea here is that each gland releases specific hormones, and each hormone has a specific target and job. This is where things really start to come together. The hypothalamus constantly monitors things like temperature, blood chemistry, and stress, and then converts nerve signals into hormone signals. The pituitary gland releases a wide range of hormones. Some act directly on tissues, while others control other endocrine glands, which is why it's often called the master gland. The pituitary actually has two distinct parts. The posterior pituitary releases hormones made in the hypothalamus, while the anterior pituitary produces its own hormones. The hypothalamus controls the anterior pituitary using releasing and inhibiting hormones. These travel through a special blood vessel system, allowing very precise control. The posterior pituitary works differently. Hormones like ADH and oxytocin are made in the hypothalamus and stored here until nerve signals trigger their release. This slide reinforces an important idea. The hypothalamus connects the nervous and endocrine systems. It regulates both pituitary lobes, making it the real control center. So to summarize the difference, the posterior pituitary is nervous tissue that stores and releases hormones, while the anterior pituitary is glandular tissue that produces hormones. This diagram shows negative feedback in action. As hormone levels rise, they signal the brain to reduce further release, keeping everything within a normal range. Neurosecretory cells are a great example of how the nervous and endocrine systems overlap. They transmit nerve signals that trigger hormone release. Here you can see two key posterior pituitary hormones. Oxytocin affects uterine muscles and milk release, while ADH helps the kidneys conserve water. The brain and anterior pituitary also produce endorphins. At the same time, the hypothalamus carefully controls anterior pituitary output using releasing and inhibiting hormones. This slide pulls everything together by showing where pituitary hormones act: the thyroid, adrenal glands, OD tissues, and reproductive organs. To wrap up, homeostasis depends on feedback systems and coordination between the nervous and endocrine systems, with the hypothalamus guiding pituitary hormone production